Hello, hi there everyone, and welcome to yet another edition of NICA Live. And thank you to so much of you for joining us every single week right here on LinkedIn, YouTube and Facebook, but also to all of you who are joining us as part of the NICA Live podcast network. You will notice a slightly different look for this week's episode. That is because inexplicably here in Belfast, we are having the hottest day in about 7 years in March, on the 29th of March. Can you believe it? So some of the cameras inside the studio have literally started to overheat. So I will occasionally be using this camera as a backup, but I think you'll agree, if anything, I look a little thinner on this camera, so maybe I should use this from now on. But either way, whether you are watching us live on the internet like the cool kids or as part of the NICA Live podcast network, you are welcome to joining us here as part of the family. Every single week, we bring you all of the latest and greatest of what we have to offer here at the National Electrical Contractors Association. So, remember to spread the news amongst your network, your friends, and your colleagues. Now, as many of you know, NICA publishes Electrical Contractor magazine. This is the electrical construction industry's premier publication that goes to more than 80,000 print subscribers every single month. And if I know anything about the NICA audience, I know you love a beautiful print publication, but it's got to be a high quality one that makes a difference to you and your teams. Now, the audience of 80,000 goes far beyond NICA to the entire industry, including firm owners, engineers, estimators, purchasing agents, project managers, supervisors, journeymen, apprentice electricians, and so many. I mean, I've ran out of breath. That's how many different people across the industry and outside get it. On top of that, this group has also launched 2 brand new magazines in the last year. Safety Leader debuted in 2020, really focusing on the heart and the role that safety plays to every single one of you. And in March, we saw the first issue of the very exciting Line Contractor magazine. And we are so pleased and delighted to have some of the publishing family here to join us today. So we're delighted to be joined by Andrea Klee, the publisher, Dominique Minor, the associate publisher, and Julie Mazur, the managing editor. This is truly a who's who of NICA publication. So let's take a moment to get to know them all. Andrea, thank you for joining us. Julie and Dominique, hello. Everyone. Hello. How are we today?
Good. Great.
Great. Doing well. Thank you.
I am so glad. So, Andrea, tell me exactly where are you in the world, and is it as hot as Belfast?
We're in Washington, D.C., and no, it was a frigid, maybe 30 degrees this morning. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
See, we work in centigrade, so that number means nothing to me.
Yes.
Yeah, I can assure you for us that is essentially tropical. Julie, how about you? How was your weekend?
My weekend was excellent. We celebrated Passover on Zoom with our family from California to Peru to Oregon to England to Israel. So
wow, that is the United Nations, Julie. That was a very busy Zoom call. I'm impressed. And how about you, Dominique? How did you feel your Saturday and Sunday?
Oh, it was great. We got to get out to go to Topgolf with the kids, so we had a good time. It was nice to enjoy the warm weather.
Fantastic. Well, look, thank you so much to all three of you for joining us here. It is lovely to get the opportunity to hear from you, especially given the extraordinary growth and success of all of the publications. So, Andrea, I will start with you. Let's begin by discussing, I guess, the magazine brand overall and everything that you're offering, not only to NICA members, but to everyone across the industry as well. I know that the print magazine is truly the foundation of everything. It's the linchpin, it's the starting point, and it's still what most readers look forward to receiving every single month. I know it sits in a lot of vans and on a lot of desks and gets really heavily thumbed through all across the month. But over the years, this has expanded to include so much more than just those physical pages. Can you take us through all of the offering of the Electrical Contractor Media Group and everything that you're working hard to achieve with your team?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, print really is king here at Electrical Contractor. About 94% of our readers say that they regularly read that version of the magazine, but we're certainly big on the digital side as well. When I first started here at NECA in 2004, we had just the print magazine, a low voltage supplement, and a rudimentary website. So over the years, though, we've upped that website capabilities, growing ecmag.com to a brand all its own. We also have a weekly e-newsletter that also reaches 80,000 inboxes each week. We have social media presence on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and here on LinkedIn, a video library on ecmag.com and YouTube. We also put on webinars and send out a whole host of e-blasts. Meanwhile, in print, we've added to our integrated systems supplement by putting out the quarterly safety leader last year and line contractor just this month, as you've introduced so wonderfully. So we're doing quite a bit.
Well, I guess because the magazine has such a large group of devoted readers from all across the industry, you've done some amazing things when it comes to research and studies as well, making sure that your audience is at the cutting edge. I guess not only just taking the temperature and the barometer of the industry, but informing the industry as well so they can make the right decisions. I guess the big one every 2 years is the profile of the electrical contractor. And this last came out in July 2020. Can you tell us a little bit about that particular profile and the role that it's playing in the industry?
Yeah, the profile of the electrical contractor is really what we're known research-wise. We send out thousands of surveys every 2 years, and we really get a comprehensive look at the electrical contracting industry. We look at the size of firms, how old the respondents are, what the revenue is, what kinds of work they're doing. So we really know, how to format what we're going to talk to our readers about for the years intervening. And so we really, we know what the industry is doing. And so we can really, keep up with what's going on. And over time, we've used it to track how the, industry has aged, and what kinds of work they've moved into. We really tracked this movement into low voltage here at the magazine. So it's been really exciting. So it gives us a lot more to talk about. And then we also have added to it by starting a subscriber research panel in 2016. And so with that, we send out surveys every month, and it helps fill in what we're doing with the profile and give a greater picture of what our readers want from us, from the suppliers they deal with, where they're buying their stuff, and how they learn about products and services. So we really, have a lot on the research side, and it really, it's something we use every day here at the magazine.
Absolutely. And I think it's that keeping the finger on the pulse, isn't it? Making sure that you're not just reflecting the voice, but leading the decisions across the industry as well. And Dominique, would you be able to describe the impact that the magazine has had on its audience and how it influences their decision making? I know specifically there is real evidence that contractors have purchased products and made company decisions because of the research, the insight, the reviews, and the views that they've seen inside the publications.
So, so we know our magazine has a lot of impact on purchasing in the industry. Our advertisers participate in an ad study 4 times a year with Baxter Research. And here's some of the things that we found. After seeing an ad in Electrical Contractor, 72% became newly aware of a product or service. And as a result, 61% either specify or bought products seen in the ads or articles featured in our magazine. In a separate survey conducted with our subscriber panel, we explored the concept of trust. And in this study, advertising appearing in trade publications were seen most trustworthy by more than half of the panelists. And these results have increased 31 to 52% since 2015. And so we know that our readers trust and are always looking for information about products in Electrical Contractor.
I gotta say, Dominique, in this industry, I mean, it's so easy to say that, it's a very successful magazine. It's reaching a huge amount of people. But truthfully, in publishing, this level of success is sort of unheard of today. 80,000 plus subscribers, and they are astonishingly engaged. They really read the material. They really get involved. We're not just sending these magazines out to sit in a doctor's waiting room. They are going out to engaged eyeballs who really care about the content. So can you tell us about how every single one of them, what they get out of the magazine year in, year out, and what keeps them coming back?
Yes, so absolutely. Our subscribers have to make the choice to receive the magazine. They must sign up every year, either using our subscription card online, through telemarketing, or by completing our renewal form that's on our cover, which is sent out several times throughout the year. So I think that says a lot about the subscribers and how they trust and have confidence in the information that, you know, we provide in the magazine, so much so that they come back every year.
And I think this loyalty is so rare and unusual. And I know, Julie, the big news in the past month has been the launch of Line Contractor magazine, which is aimed directly at those working in the outside line. It's an audience who we know love to be serviced directly. Their needs are different. This new quarterly magazine joins Safety Leader, which started, as I mentioned earlier, back in 2020 to cater to safety professionals in the fields. Well, what were the origins of these magazines, and how have they worked to expand the impact, the reach of Electrical Contractor and its brand?
Well, Andrea said we interact with our readers a lot, but with the surveys that we do and just meeting them in person when we used to meet people in person. And our CEO, David Long, is always traveling and meeting contractors. And these were needs that we thought that the contractors would like to know about. Safety Leader, you know, we at NECA say safety is for everyone, but it's directed at safety directors of electrical contracting firms who might be the people monitoring the, you know, what everybody else is doing, but it also goes to facility managers at, for example, like a hospital or a nuclear power plant. And teachers and apprentice trainers also take it and use it to help their students understand the value of safety. And it's slightly less technical, but it helps you, the reader, know how to interact about safety with the people that they're teaching or working with.
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Line Contractor is for the outside electricians doing the traditional transmission and distribution. And I think you already said that they use a slightly different electrical code and they have different needs than our core readership. It's a very important market because we need to get that power from the power plant to our homes or offices or work so we can do all the fun electrical things like turn on our lights and stream movies and control our lights with new techie gadgets.
Oh, I love a techie gadget. Look, frankly, Julie, I'm only with NECA for the techie gadgets. If it wasn't for the techie gadgets, I'd be down the road at a different convention, I can assure you. But, you know, I think it's... But, you know, I think, speaking of techie gadgets, I know some of the most popular content to come from every issue are the practical project profiles that showcase innovations, bright new ideas, but sometimes simple solutions. It allows you to see electrical contractors in action, solving problems and making a difference every day. What are some of your favorite examples, Julie? And if any NECA members watching or hearing have a project that they think is worth magazine coverage, how do they get in touch with you to give that some showcase?
Well, they can absolutely email me or call me. My email is jmazur@necanet.org. And I love to hear about the projects. I love to try and find different things happening all over the country to show what is out there and what kind of jobs there are that people can, you know, maybe it's something they hadn't thought of doing, but maybe this can spark their interest to try and chase down similar work. Let's see. Well, this in our new Line Contractor magazine, we have an article about a driverless car testing facility in Michigan, which was very interesting. Once a couple years ago, we had the Many Glaciers Hotel in Montana, and that was really interesting because the contractors had to use snowmobiles and avoid bears and mooses on their way to the job. And we had one last year, and it can happen really quickly, or sometimes it's, a project that's been done. But last year we wrote about a hospital in Pueblo, Colorado that was retrofitted to house COVID patients if necessary. And they had about, I think it was 5 total weeks from the time they bid it until the time they finished the project. And I just think that these things can be an inspiration to contractors to know what other kind of work that they could be pursuing.
Absolutely. Sometimes they're big ideas that are innovative, that are game-changing, but equally sometimes they're small, incremental, evolutionary changes that make a difference to safety, to the business, to the site, and to the people that we serve. Actually, also, I've got to correct myself, Julie. I did refer to you as Julie Mazur. So, are we saying it's definitely Mazur? Are you sticking with Mazur? Because I feel like I like Mazur.
You can use the European pronunciation if you want.
Yeah, I just feel like you should consider a rebrand. I just feel like Mazur sounds more expensive. It sounds more premium. Something to consider. We can workshop it after this episode. Don't worry. Well, look, one last question to all of you. And Julie, I'll start with you. For anyone who maybe hasn't opened a copy before or hasn't looked into it, why do you think Electrical Contractor is so important? What are they missing?
Well, besides all the code information and the news of the industry, there's just a lot of information on running a business. I mean, I think anyone in construction anywhere would benefit from reading our magazine. We've got a legal column and a service and maintenance column, and your business about how to market yourself out there in the world. And I think any contractor would find this useful.
Absolutely. And Dominique, how about you? For someone who hasn't really leafed through it before, or perhaps they feel like they're too busy, what are they missing out on?
Everything. I want to second what Julie said. It's a very important product in the industry, and if you don't have it, you need to get it.
And it's free.
Fantastic.
It's free. Yeah.
Absolutely free. It's free. And it's what on earth can you get that's both good and free at this point? And Andrea, final question to you. I mean, you must be so proud to see in 2021 a publishing story. So forgive the fact that this is clearly an amazing publication that makes a big difference to members, that is communicating how to run your business better, more safer, in a more profitable way, to unite the industry in a single, and actually not a single publication, in 3 publications, monthly and 2 quarterlies. No other industry is managing to crack publishing so successfully. You must be so proud.
I am. It really, we hear from our readers and they tell us, how important this magazine is to them and, what an impact it makes for, their business. And that's really, important to us to be able to provide that for them. So, it's really, it's in a unique place and it has a strong readership and it's consistent, as Dominique said, they have to sign up every year. So, the fact that we've been able to maintain our readership of 80,000 year after year is really significant because that means that we're providing something that is valuable to the readers, that they would bother putting in the effort to sign up.
Absolutely. 80,000 of them. I mean, do you think I personally, clearly you're not charging anything. Do you think I could maybe collect like $5 from a reader? Do you think, is there any chance I could maybe, just for me, personally, for me, not for you, because you're saying it's free.
Well, you could certainly
use
put
the $5.
In an ad. You could put in an ad and then you could solicit donations.
I think that is an outstanding suggestion. Actually, Andrea, I hadn't planned to ask you this, but I mean, now that all of these publications are so successful, you must be looking to the future. What on earth is coming next?
One thing we're really trying to do is a lot of outreach to apprentices to make sure that they can receive the magazine and know about it because, that's the industry they're joining. So they really need to you know, get involved in the, you know, all aspects of the industry. So, you know, they can sign up and get the magazine as well and use it to further their studies. So that's something we're working on. You know, we're just continuing to grow, you know, taking what we learned from our research and seeing what new avenues to explore.
Apprentices really are the future of the industry, and I know they're important to everyone at NICA, and I know these magazines are important to everyone as well. We've got tons of great comments coming in. Eduardo's coming in from NYC. Good to see you, Eduardo. Jeffrey is here every single episode. It's great to have you with us, Jeffrey. Vanessa is joining us as well. Gosh, this is a busy episode, guys. Leslie is coming in, I believe, from Las Vegas. Leslie, I'm going to be in Las Vegas in July, assuming I'm fully vaccinated, Leslie. I can assure you, I am clean as a whistle. I am safe. I won't cause any issues, I can assure you. We've got people coming in from all across the US, and it is wonderful. And Deborah from Phoenix. Deborah, I haven't seen you in a few episodes. Thanks for being part of the NICA family. And Andrea, Julie, and Dominique, thank you so much to all three of you. I hope I get to see you in a future episode of our LinkedIn Live, and hopefully I'll get to see you all in Nashville in the flesh. I have got my cowboy boots ready to go. Who of you is the best dancer? Tell me.
Who's the best dancer? Not me.
Not me.
Not me.
Okay, well then
Not
I'm going to
that.
take it. It's me, and I will dance you all under the table in Nashville, I can assure you.
Great.
Let's say it's one of our other staff members, Colleen or Holly.
Yes.
Oh, well, let's get them on to the next episode, and we'll do a live line dance on NICA Live. That sounds like a good
they'll
idea.
really look forward to that.
We will double our subscribers if we get that on the front page of the magazines. I'm certain of it. Well, ladies, thank you so much for being so generous with your time, and I'll catch up with you all again really soon. And folks, I know you will join me in thanking them for all of the hard work that they do through the year on these publications. I know they make a big difference to you. And if you are interested in reading more of the content from Electrical Contractor magazine, from Line Contractor or Safety Leader, go to ecmag.com. You can find it all there. And exciting, lovely little cover image here of Line Contractor. Look at that. I don't know who did the photography. That's an outstanding cover. You can find everything that you need on ecmag.com, and even subscribe yourself if you click on the link in the upper right-hand corner. Now, before we go, I want to remind you that registration is open for NICA now. This leadership conference is taking place virtually. Yours truly will be there, April 13 and 14, and I'll be emceeing the whole thing, driving the education, leading the networking. And besides that, we will have sessions from TV's Mike Rowe, from Marcus Lemonis, a whole host of other experts. Last week, remember, we talked to Michael Aloso and Lisa Sun, who will be there in person as well. And these are just the tip of the iceberg. I promise you, you will not want to miss out on 1 second of this event. No one does a virtual event better than NICA. So without further ado, let's take a look at what we have in store, and I'll see you back here next week for NICA Live.
It's time to get excited for NICA Now, the industry's premier executive leadership conference, April 13th and 14th. We can't wait to provide you the incredible value of top quality education and networking. We have 32 education sessions on leadership, innovation, and diversity and inclusion. Choose your topics and watch live or at a time that works best for you. And don't miss out on our nationally known plenary speakers, including Mike Rowe of Dirty Jobs and Marcus Lemonis of CNBC is the Prophet. I promise this, you'll feel more connected than ever, and we can't wait to see you there.